Joining us now, thanks to our friends at Tide, the 2016 NFL MVP franchise quarterback of the Atlanta Falcons, who is moving up the all-time list. Passing yards, touchdowns, every good statistic that you can have for a quarterback. This guy is climbing that ladder. He's Matt Ryan. Matt, welcome back. How are you, pal?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Doing great, and it's great to see you, great to talk to you as the season approaches. I think about your situation from time to time, though. You have to look around the locker room, the meeting room, the practice field, and say to yourself, where the hell has everybody gone? How do you deal with that when, over the course of the last 5 years since you went to the Super Bowl, pretty much everything has changed with the team except for you?
Yeah, there's certainly been a lot of transition. You know, I look around the locker room. It's like I see Jake Matthews in one corner and Grady Jarrett and Deion Jones, and that's about it from those teams back in 2016. So as part of this league, you know, the longer you play, the more you realize there's a lot of turnover. And it keeps you young, though. We got younger and younger guys coming in every week and every year, and it keeps it fresh.
Well, and for as long as you've been with the Falcons, back to 2008, you've had two head coaches before this year, from Mike Smith to Dan Quinn and now Arthur Smith. But this is your first coach with an offensive background. What's been the difference that you've noticed so far, having an offensive guy run the show instead of a defensive guy?
Yeah, I had great relationships with both Mike Smith and Dan Quinn, and we spent a lot of time together. But because they were on the other side of the ball, you know, it wasn't really in meetings. You know, it was just in different ways. This has been a lot of time spent specifically on, you know, scheme, situational play calls, you know, what we're thinking, high red shots, low red zone shots, 2-minute calls. It's just been a lot more football with these guys than it was with Dan and Mike Smith. And so it's been different from that standpoint, but I've really enjoyed it. It's been a lot of fun this offseason.
I mean, from a quarterback's perspective, does it feel to you like you're speaking the same language with your head coach more now than ever before?
Well, I think you're just so wired into the game plan, you know, of what you're doing. And you spend so much more time in that room together, you know, talking about it. So from that standpoint, yes. But I think, you know, from a head coach to quarterback perspective, I still think there's the team keys, right? The main team keys. And I always felt like I was on the same page with those other guys, and really feel that same way with Art as well.
One thing I noticed over the weekend, and this was from Orlando Ledbetter of the Journal-Constitution, the idea that your new coach, Arthur Smith, wants to have a more intense Friday practice, a more competitive Friday practice. What have you noticed in that regard as it relates to maybe a higher bar from him as it relates to that last practice of the week?
Well, you know, it's a heavy red zone emphasis, you know, practice. And, you know, Art made it clear last week during our practice, he expected a little bit more from us than we gave. So I love that kind of stuff. You know, I think he's been very direct, very upfront with us, you know, from when he got here, of what the expectation is. And, you know, for that Friday practice, the expectation is to get our work in, to be intense, to get good speed work. And to make sure that we're, you know, firing on all cylinders on both sides of the ball in the red area. And, you know, I appreciated that.
He's an unknown for the rest of us from your perspective. What is it? How does he make his displeasure known? What did he do? What did he say?
He raises his voice and you hear him, that's for sure. So he's not shy about, you know, letting you know when, you know, it's time to pick it up or you need to do better, those kind of things. And, you know, I've been around all kinds of different guys. The key is getting your point across and making sure guys hear it and being authentic to yourself. And that's one of the things I think guys feel with Art Smith, is that he's very authentic and he's very direct and clear, and guys understand what he expects from them.
One of the players creating the most excitement and anticipation this year from the standpoint of rookies, the guy who's going to be wearing number 8, I still can't get used to that, Kyle Pitts. What's been your impression of him based on what you've seen so far?
I think he's done a nice job for us during training camp. I mean, obviously, he's extremely talented, got a great skill set, very fast, long arms, really good hands. But I've been impressed with his work ethic, and his ability to, be consistent from day to day. The good players I've been around in my career have been the guys that show up day in and day out and know how to work. And he's got that trait and that eagerness to improve. And I think if, he keeps that mindset and keeps that, consistency day to day with his effort, he's going to be a good player in this league.
Without Julio Jones there, who's kind of stepped up as the leader of that group? I mean, we all assume it's Calvin Ridley, but what voices are emerging on offense besides you to fill that leadership void that Julio Jones would have occupied over the years?
Well, I think you mentioned, I think Calvin, is comfortable in that role. He's been extremely productive. His body of work speaks for itself in terms of production. His work ethic is exactly what you want. He practices hard. He's very intense. And, I think the guys respect him. I think we've got guys like Jake Matthews on our offensive line, who's a veteran guy who's been extremely durable and productive for us. And then you have some older veteran guys, a guy like we signed in Lee Smith at the tight end position. It's been good for our young guys, to see what it takes to be a veteran, to show some of that toughness and, that grit, that dirty, just dig it out and go find a way to get the job done. He's got that kind of mindset, and I think he's been good for a lot of guys in our locker room.
Different kind of leadership, but very important given what's currently going on in the world. The COVID vaccination rate, the Falcons get to 100%. You've been vocal about it. Just give us a taste of why, at a time when, different quarterbacks, different coaches, different players are either not saying anything or saying, hey, I don't want to get this vaccine. Why has it been important to you to, number one, get vaccinated, number two, be willing to say, hey, this is something people should do?
Well, I've number one, I want to protect myself and my family and keep everybody safe, but also keep the, people around me safe too. And, I care about, my teammates. I care about my family and different people that I've, come in contact with. I've been lucky to become friends with a lot of doctors here in the city of Atlanta, to be a partner with Emory Healthcare, who's our team physicians, and just, they're at the forefront of infectious disease. And, you meet with these doctors and they explain to you the risks of being unvaccinated and the pros of being vaccinated. I think, for me, it was, an easy decision to make that. And, I'm proud that as an organization, we've got to 100%. And, hopefully that can give us a chance to stay healthy. But, more so than anything, it reduces the risk of death. And, that's the key to this. And I hope people will take that into consideration.
We had this conversation last year when you were 35. Now you're 36. We see Tom Brady at 44. Russell Wilson says he wants to go to 45. There are others who set that bar beyond the age of 40. What's your current plan as it relates to how much longer Matt Ryan's going to be playing in the NFL?
Well, I feel great. My body feels great at this point. And so, as long as that's the case and, I'm being productive, I'd like to continue to play. Still, have the drive, have the competitiveness to want to go out there and do it every week. And so, I'd love to play for a long time. I also think that you don't know how things are going to shake out, right? Like things can change in your life and in an instant, and same with our careers. And so, I hope I can stay healthy. If I can stay healthy, I'd love to play for a long time.
At this stage of your career, given the number of years you've put in, where do you get your motivation? Where do you get a chip on the shoulder? And I'll give you an example. I did a little check of the NFL's top 100 list for this year, and where's Matt Ryan? Matt Ryan's not on there. Well, I got plenty of reasons to roll that list up and throw it out the window, but that's one in and of itself. Do things like that motivate you? Where does it come from after you've done it this many years?
Well, it's number one, it's about winning a championship more so than anything personal. I think bringing a Super Bowl to the city of Atlanta, being drafted here in 2008, being here my entire career, the organization never having won one. To me, that's, at the forefront. And then, beyond that, it's everybody has that, wanting to go prove themselves and show you what they can do and how good you are and being appreciated for that. And so, the list is what it is. I don't worry about that too much. I think, the people in our building know what I'm capable of and, give us a chance to win week in and week out. And beyond that, I don't really worry about it too much, but winning that championship is what it's all about.
When the team made the changes last year, parting ways with Dan Quinn and Thomas Dimitroff during the season, the owner of the franchise, Arthur Blank, made a comment suggesting that you would have a major voice in whether and to what extent you remained with the team beyond the 2020 season. How much did you think about possibly turning the page? Did it come close, scale of 1 to 10? Did it come close to you saying, you know what, I will take this fresh start as a way to move on and get my fresh start somewhere else?
No, it never crossed my mind. I mean, I know that there's been lots of that in the NFL right now. A lot of people, specifically at the quarterback position, move in different directions, and everybody's situation is unique. For me, I never wanted to do that. I love being here. I love being a part of this organization. Arthur Blank has been incredible to me from the minute I was drafted. He's incredible to my family. So, I'm thankful for that opportunity. I feel like I love being in this city, living here. It's home for my wife and I and our kids, and it's a good place to live. And, I want to stay here. I want to be here for a long time. And so it never really, for me, what was a part of my thinking.
I mentioned at the top, you're here today on behalf of Tide. Tell us what you have going on with them, Matt.
Yeah, I'm excited to partner up with Tide and, excited that, the NFL and Tide have partnered to switch to cold water washing, which is great for the environment, really good for everybody's wallet as well. Uses less energy, which saves us money. Really good thing. I've got twin boys at home, so our washing machines are constantly running. I think kids know that if you can save a little bit of money somewhere, that's helpful. But I'm proud to be a part of it. I think, both Tide and the NFL are doing a great job of promoting this, and happy, myself to be a small part of it.
How old are your boys now?
They're 3.5. So, I mean, we're turning through clothes pretty quickly.
Are they showing any indications of following in Dad's footsteps at some point as quarterbacks?
I don't know about quarterbacks. We're more like, I shot a commercial for Tide with Stone Cold during the summer. Our guys are more like WWE right now. They kind of it's full on wrestling all the time. So we'll worry about the skill sets later, but the toughness is there. They certainly show that.
That would be a good tag team, twin brothers. Yes, that could be the future. All right. Well, hey, Matt, all the best this season. Hope to talk to you as the season unfolds. As always, appreciate some of your time, and congratulations on all your success.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.